G'day geeks, my name is Chris, and in this episode I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff that I picked up recently. Nothing too focused in these pickups. We've got G.I. Joe, we've got Star Wars, we've got Pound Puppies, we've got something for everybody. So let's have a look at all the stuff I've picked up over the last couple of weeks. Here is some of it. This assortment before you is all from Toymate. So I'm a frequent visitor. A Toymate, probably once every 2 or 3 weeks, I guess I go there, and this was stuff, not that I was intending to buy any of this, but I had some time to kill, and as I was doing a bit of hunting and digging around Toymate, some of this stuff just leapt out at me. So at the back we have the Little People Lord of the Rings. That was the only one they had there, and we've got a couple of retro G.I. Joe from Super 7. We've got the another retro reaction figure from The Office. Remember the film that Michael Scott made, Threat Level Midnight? And then we've got a classic re-release of the 1980s Pound Puppies. Let's have a look at all of these individually. Pound Puppies were a line of stuffed dog toy lines, basically, and they did a cat version as well, and an animated series, and so originally released by Tonka, and they're still going strong. So this is basically a re-release of the smaller versions of Pound Puppies, I guess kind of going in the Cabbage Patch adoption kind of craze that was sweeping the world in the 80s. So it comes a little dog box there, and you can see that it comes with an adoption certificate. So I think they come in different colours, and I had a very similar one to this when I was a kid. So when I saw this at Toymate, thought I'd grab it because I missed the first re-release a couple of years ago at BW, and then so when I saw these at Toymate, I grabbed this. But let's open up this Pound Puppy and see how cute he is. Oh, so cute. So yes, they're basically pretty simple. These are the smaller sized versions. The original from the one from the 80s did come in larger sizes as well, and you can see he has a little a nappy there, which is removable, and he's got this little collar. So and yeah, fluffy ears and all that kind of stuff. Very cute for sure. Comes with a little adoption certificate, so you can give him a name and a birth date, I guess, and kind of tells you a bit about what to do if you're a puppy pound owner. It says all they need is lots of tender loving care. Your pound puppy will give you love and happiness forever. It isn't something that we all want. And this comes with a little checklist as well, so you can see the different sizes. So this one, that's the one I've got. Flip it over, and there's a couple of the larger ones as well. But yeah, pretty cool. And you can see you can put it right back in. Hand washable, removable diaper, or nappy as we call them here. And yeah, it's very simple. Just a simple cardboard box. You can put him or her back in there once you've done playing with them. But very reminiscent of the one I had in the 80s, and it's pretty cool to see that companies are still putting out this stuff exactly like it was back in the day. So yeah, even Cabbage Patch Kids and that kind of stuff are still very much around for those of us who are feeling the nostalgic heartstrings tugging. So you can add Pound Puppies to that nostalgic collection. Sticking with the dog theme, here we have a couple of reaction figures from the Super 7 company based in San Francisco. So Reaction are their line of retro limited articulation figures made to basically look like they just came out of the 80s. So this is Mutt and Junkyard from the G.I. Joe line, and yeah, they look pretty cool indeed. And you can tell that they've got the bio on the back, bit of a freeze frame from the cartoon, and all the other figures that Super 7 are doing in this wonderful Reaction line. And here we have a Red Laser. I don't know much about this guy, but he looks pretty cool. He's actually he's a Japanese bad guy from the Action Force, so the UK variation, I guess, of G.I. Joe in the 80s. So Red Laser is a bad guy. As his wonderful bio card attests, he's a former member of a Japanese terrorist organisation that has a high level of technical expertise. He developed a laser exterminator into the most deadliest weapon in the enemy armory. And again, the bio freeze frame from the cartoon. And I believe he's a bit of a repaint from the Cobra Commander figure. So yes, pretty interesting. I love the retro vibe, the retro feel of the G.I. Joe original packaging, with the red explosion on the background, the familiar logo / font. So these reaction figures are going to look good on the shelf with the rest of the reaction figures that I have in my toy room. Something else I did not expect to see was this reaction figure from, again from Super 7, obviously, from The Office. Do you remember the classic episode where they discovered Michael Scott wrote a screenplay and they kind of reenacted that? So here we have Dwight Schrute, assistant to the regional manager, acting as the robotic Samuel L. Chang butler. And yeah, just the packaging of the film kind of poster, very James Bond-esque. The hockey, or the classic references, the Scan little move dance thing, and all the other characters that are available. So that's a deep cut, but it's pretty cool to see a action figure line from The Office. So yes, from Threat Level Midnight. Will we ever see it on the big screen? Unlikely, but at least we've got it in action figure form for now. The little people from Fisher Price have been pumping out all different kinds of collections in the last few years. I've seen The Office. When I saw this, I saw Wizard of Oz. They had Wicked. They even had Breaking Bad little people, which is very interesting. So yes, this, as you can see, is Lord of the Rings one. It's not the first Lord of the Rings little people version they've done. This is all focused on the bad guys, I guess. And it's got the lovely cartoony kind of little people accurate characters there. So it comes with 4 characters and a lovely backdrop, Sauron in the back. And let's open this up, have a bit of a closer look. We have Saruman, Lurtz, and orc bad guys, and of course Gollum. And yeah, they're pretty cool. These are surprisingly hefty, actually. They don't come with any articulation, but if you've got any of the little people, you're familiar with the style of these figures. Very much a nod to the 70s style of little kid kind of action figures. And as I said, yeah, their packaging is pretty amazing. Whether it's Batman or Stranger Things or Ninja Turtles or whatever, the packaging is always pretty awesome with these little people sets, and collector friendly packaging as well. I guess you can put them all back, don't have to destroy the packaging. But yeah, these are pretty detailed for how small they are, and as I said, the backdrop looks pretty good as well. And these little people, so many franchises, something for everybody, and they're available at places like Toymate and even Kmart and Big W. So very happy to grab this, because I don't have a lot of Lord of the Rings merchandise, so this is going to yeah, fill that gap, I guess, in the toy room for a bit of Lord of the Rings goodness. I visited 8-Bit Anarchy, which is a retro video game store in Midland, a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. I'd never been there before. Pretty easy to get to. I do recommend checking them out. Had a lovely chat with the owner. Pretty expansive store, like they've got VHS and heaps of Skylanders, as all of these retro video games do, and a very impressive collection of like CRTs, the old TVs, the big chunky ones, and yeah, just a lot of consoles and games and associated goodies, and a couple of arcade games and DVDs and books and that kind of stuff. So really something for everybody, and these things in particular piqued my interest. So I've got the Bourne Conspiracy on PlayStation 3, which is a game I do remember playing when it first came out, what, 17 years ago or something, and the classic Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on Nintendo 64, which filled in the gap. Shadows of the Empire filled in the gap story-wise between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and this was a very awesome game, so I'm looking forward to reliving my youth and playing that, and both are complete with their manuals as well, and obviously the actual disc and cartridge. So pretty happy to add Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64. Comes complete with the manual, the actual cartridge obviously, and the box comes in a plastic display case as well for protection. So pretty happy to add this classic video game from my youth to my retro video game collection. I'm getting quite the collection of PS3 games. So I've got PS3, PS4 and PS5, and I do play the PS3 every now and then. That was kind of the era where studios just pumped out so many games of all different varieties. We don't really get as many games these days in the modern consoles, but certainly graphically they are superior. But yes, this is one I played when it first came out, almost 20 years ago now. The Bourne Conspiracy, obviously based on the Jason Bourne games, movies. This doesn't have Matt Damon's likeness or anything, but it's a pretty cool action beat 'em up with lots of different combos and using the different weapons at hand, using the environment. It's hard. I've started playing again recently. I thought, this is a lot harder than I imagined remembered it to be, but it's a pretty cool game. And now it says here collector's edition because it comes with the Bourne Ultimatum on DVD. This version doesn't, but it was pretty cheap anyway, so pretty happy to add this to my PS3 collection. Here we have 3 different finds. So on the right we have Bluey, and on the left we have a couple of the Hot Wheels Premium Pop Culture line. So they're I think about $9 each from Kmart, made by Mattel. As I've said in recent videos, I've got quite the collection now of different pop culture related Hot Wheels cars. It's about the only vehicle kind of thing I collect, but these are very cool indeed. So this is the newer Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes from the comics and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series with his Charger, and I like the kind of comic deco and the light up flame, the kind of effects. Well, it doesn't light up, but it's kind of got that translucent plastic on it, which is nice. And on the bottom, obviously, we have the Mutt Cuts van from Dumb and Dumber. So I'm still searching for the Gremlins one and the James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me film as well. I haven't seen those out in the wild yet, but hopefully I will. And this is Bluey. So as an Australian, I'm a bit ashamed to say that I've never actually watched an episode of Bluey, but I think Pixel Dan, YouTube creator Pixel Dan, said there's actually a little action figure of one of the Bluey characters dressed up as She-Ra, Princess of Power, and I'm like, what? Well, I'm obliged to get to that. So I found this little fairy tale cosplay Young Chili and Bandit. So pretty cool as well. So very simple kind of figures, but dressed up as She-Ra. I've got to get that. A closer look at the awesome artwork straight from the comics of the Ghost Rider sitting atop his Charger, and as I said, it's got the kind of styling work on the Charger itself, just to show that it's kind of come straight from the comic, and the little plastic to show the orange flames on the car and the engine block look pretty cool for sure. And here we have, this is pretty hefty. It's a big vehicle, and it looks like to be quite textured as well. So the classic Dumb and Dumber film with the, the big tongue and the big dog accurate Mutt Cuts van. That's not something I expected to see, but what a great film that is. So yes, 2 more for the Hot Wheels shelf. On the left we have Chili, and on the right we have Bandit, and I had to Google that, and so Chili is Bluey's mum, and so she would be familiar with She-Ra for sure. So you can see that obviously it's a non-copyright infringing interpretation, I guess, of She-Ra's costume, and obviously it's got the red cape and the jewel with the belt and the kind of headdress, and the jewel on the sword, which is very She-Ra, Princess of Power, He-Man's sister. Very accurate indeed, a classic character and cartoon from the 80s. And then here we have Bandit. It's got a removable helmet, which is pretty cool. And he comes with a toothbrush, which he can't hold. So I'm not sure what that's about. And I'm not sure if these are episode specific figures from the Bluey TV show. But yeah, I mean, I'm an Australian. I like He-Man. I've got to get anything that is a crossover of those 2 things. So here we go. Chili as She-Ra. G.I. Joe, Pound Puppies, Star Wars, Jason Bourne, Hot Wheels. We're kind of covering a lot of different bases here. So this is my small little haul. And yes, smash that like button, or don't smash it, hit it gently if you like anything that you see here, and give 8-Bit Anarchy a visit as well if you happen to be in the Midland area, which is the place where I got the couple of video games in the back. They have an awesome assortment of stuff, so a nice little collection of stuff to add to my shelf. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you at the next video. Goodbye, geeks.